The fatal Scanther exploration vessel, Shadowclaw, drifted silently through the void of Sector Delta 7, its sleek purple hull reflecting the distant light of twin suns. Commander Zelthor adjusted his four-armed stance on the bridge, his reptilian features focused on the scanner displays. The Krex Empire had been expanding into this region for months, cataloging resources and mapping hyperspace routes. Commander called out Navigator Thresh from her station, her scaled fingers dancing across holographic controls. We're detecting an anomalous reading ahead. Large metallic object, approximately 12 kilometers, bearing northeast. Zelthor's golden eyes narrowed. Life signs. Negative, sir. Whatever it is, it appears to be dead in space. The bridge fell, silent except for the soft hum of life support systems. Chief Science Officer Borak looked up from his instruments, his crest of spines twitching with curiosity. Commander, the object's composition is unusual. High-density alloys I've never encountered before. Put it on the main screen. The forward display flickered to life, revealing something that made the entire crew gasp. Floating before them was a ship unlike anything in Krex databases. It was massive, easily 3 times the size of their own vessel, with angular lines and a distinctive cylindrical design. Strange markings covered its dark hull, symbols that seemed almost familiar yet completely alien. By the Ancient Ones, whispered Thresh. What is that thing? Borak's instruments chirped rapidly as he ran preliminary scans. Commander, the energy signature is fascinating. The ship appears to be in some kind of deep hibernation mode. Minimal power, but the core systems are intact. Zelthor moved closer to the main display, studying the mysterious vessel. Something about its design triggered a memory from his academy days. Borak, cross-reference, those hole markings with historical databases. Focus on extinct civilizations. The science officer's claws clicked against his console as he worked. Minutes passed before he looked up, his expression stunned. Commander, you're not going to believe this. According to our historical records, those markings match descriptions of human writing. The bridge erupted in excited chatter. Humans were legendary among spacefaring species. They had appeared in the galaxy roughly 3 centuries ago, spreading rapidly across multiple star systems. Their technology was advanced, their culture rich and complex. But then, 200 years ago, they had simply vanished. No trace, no explanation, no goodbye. The greatest mystery in galactic history, a human ship. Zelthor breathed. After all this time, sir, Thresh interjected, shouldn't we report this to Central Command immediately? A discovery this significant, ... Not yet, Zelthor decided. We need more information first. Borak, prepare for a deep quantum scan. I want to know everything about that ship. The science officer hesitated. Commander, that might not be wise. If the ship has any active defense systems, it's been drifting dead for 2 centuries, Zelthor replied firmly. What possible threat could it pose? Begin the scan. Borak exchanged worried glances with the other crew members, but activated the scanning array. Deep space filled with invisible quantum pulses as the Shadowclaw's most advanced sensors began probing every molecule of the human vessel. At first, everything proceeded normally. Data streams flowed across multiple displays, revealing the ship's internal structure, its advanced propulsion systems, even traces of its last cargo manifest. But then something unexpected happened. The human ship began to glow. Commander Borak called out, his voice tight with alarm. The vessel is responding to our scan. Power levels are increasing across all systems. That's impossible, Zelf. Stepped closer to the displays. You said it was dead. It was. But our quantum scan seems to have triggered some kind of automated response. Sir, I'm detecting massive data processing occurring within the ship's core. Suddenly, the bridge lights flickered. Navigator Thresh cried out as her station sparked, sending waves of strange energy through the ship's networks. One by one, crew members at various stations began clutching their heads, their eyes rolling back. What's happening? Zelthor demanded. The human ship, Borak gasped, struggling to maintain his balance. It's transmitting something. Not just data, but experiences. Memories. The main screen shifted, displaying images that none of them had ever seen before. A blue-green world with vast oceans and white clouds. Towering cities reaching toward the sky. Creatures that looked like the humans from historical descriptions, but these were alive, moving, laughing, crying. Young Tactical Officer Nexus suddenly spoke in a language none of them recognized, his voice filled with emotions that seemed foreign to Krek's culture. The stars, so beautiful from Earth's moon. We dreamed of touching them all. Nexus. Zelthor shook the young officer. What are you saying? But Nexus wasn't alone. Across the bridge, crew members were speaking in the same unknown language, their voices carrying memories and feelings that belonged to someone else. They described sensations the Kreks had never experienced. The warmth of sunlight on skin, the taste of something called chocolate, the joy of music that made the soul soar. The human ship's systems were now fully active, its hull blazing with light. On the main screen, a figure materialized. It appeared human, but translucent, clearly some kind of holographic projection. The being looked directly at Commander Zelthor, with eyes that held depths of wisdom and sadness. Greetings, the figure said in perfect Krek's language. I am Keeper Marcus Chen, guardian of the vessel Eternal Dawn. You have awakened us from our long sleep. Zelthor found his voice. What have you done to my crew? Marcus smiled gently. We have shared with them a gift. For 200 years, we have waited for someone curious enough, brave enough, to truly see us. Your deep scan opened a connection between our consciousness archives and your people's minds. Consciousness archives. When humanity faced extinction, we found a way to preserve more than just our knowledge. We preserved our experiences, our emotions, our very essence. Every human who ever lived, every moment of joy and sorrow, every dream and discovery, all of it exists within ships like this one. The implications hit Zelthor like a physical blow. You're saying humanity didn't die. You became this we. Transcended, Marcus replied. Physical form was limiting us. But consciousness, experience, the human spirit, these things are eternal. We spread ourselves across 1,000 ships and sent them to the far corners of the galaxy, waiting for the day when other species would be ready to understand. Borak looked up from his instruments, his expression awed. Commander, I'm detecting similar energy signatures awakening across multiple star systems, dozens of them. Our scan has triggered a chain reaction. Marcus nodded. The network activates when any one of us is truly contacted. Your people have passed the first test. Zelthor felt a chill run down his spine. Curiosity, the willingness to reach out to the unknown despite fear. This is the first quality of a species ready for advancement. Across the bridge, the affected crew members were beginning to recover, but their eyes held new understanding. They had experienced human memories, felt human emotions, and gained perspectives their species had never possessed. Navigator Thresh spoke first, her voice filled with wonder. "Commander, I remember standing on a beach watching waves crash against the shore, the feeling of sand between my toes. But I've never been to a beach. Krek's worlds don't have oceans like that." "You experienced the memory of a human named Sarah Chen," Marcus explained. "She was a marine biologist who spent her life studying Earth's oceans. Through her memories, you now understand the deep connection humans felt with their homeworld." Young Nexus stepped forward, tears streaming down his reptilian face. "I felt their love, Commander, the way they cared for each other, for other species, for worlds they'd never even visited. It's beautiful and terrible at the same time." Zelfor struggled to process what was happening. "Why share this with us? What do you want?" Marcus's expression grew serious. "We want what we've always wanted. To explore, to learn, to grow, but also to preserve the wonder and creativity that made humanity special. Your species, the Kreks, have advanced technology and a vast empire, but you've lost something. Along the way, what have we lost? The joy of discovery, the willingness to take risks for the sake of knowledge, the ability to see beauty in the unknown rather than just resources to exploit." The human's words struck deep. Zelfa knew he was right. The Krek's empire had become efficient, organized, powerful but cold. They catalogued worlds, extracted resources, expanded territories. When had they last done something simply because it was beautiful or interesting? "What happens now?" Zelthor asked. "That depends on you," Marcus replied. "You can report this encounter to your superiors, who will likely try to study us, dissect our technology, use our knowledge for military advancement, or you can accept our partnership. Let us share not just our memories, but our dreams. Help us rebuild the human spirit in new forms, while we help your people rediscover wonder." The bridge fell silent. Every crew member looked to their commander, waiting for a decision that would change everything. Through the human memories they had experienced, they now understood what was at stake. This wasn't just about technology or power. It was about what it meant to be truly alive in a universe full of marvels. Commander Zelfar looked at the faces of his crew, saw the new light in their eyes, felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. In the distance, he could see other ships beginning to approach, drawn by the energy signals. Soon, the entire Krex fleet would arrive, and with them, his superiors. The choice would define not just his fate, but the future of two civilizations. What? Humanity left behind, Commander Zelthor stood in silence for what felt like an eternity, weighing the decision before him. Around the bridge, his crew waited, their eyes still reflecting the profound human memories they had experienced. The eternal dawn continued to pulse with gentle light, its guardian Marcus Chen watching patiently. "Tell me more about this partnership," Zelthor finally said. "What exactly are you proposing?" Marcus's holographic form moved closer to the main screen. "For 2 centuries, we have existed as pure consciousness, preserving human knowledge and experience. But existence without growth is merely sophisticated death. We need physical forms to explore, to create, to truly live again. And in exchange, we offer everything we were and everything we learned. Scientific advancement beyond your current understanding, art and music that will touch souls you didn't know you possessed, philosophy that will expand your civilization's consciousness, But most importantly, we offer perspective. Science Officer Borak cleared his throat nervously. Commander, I'm detecting massive energy buildups throughout this sector. The human ship awakening has triggered responses from at least 47 other vessels across nearby systems. Marcus nodded. The network spans the galaxy. Each ship contains different aspects of human civilization. Scientists, artists, explorers, philosophers, engineers. We preserved not just knowledge, but the personalities and dreams of our greatest minds. 47 ships, Zelthar repeated. The implications staggering. That's more advanced technology than the Krex Empire has accumulated in millennia. Technology without wisdom is destruction, Marcus replied. Your people have the infrastructure and the determination to use our gifts responsibly, but you need to rediscover what it means to dream. Navigator Thresh spoke up, her voice still carrying traces of wonder from her borrowed memories. Commander, the human memories I experienced, they showed me things I never imagined. The way they saw beauty in a simple sunset, found joy in helping others succeed, created art just to express what they felt inside. We've forgotten these things exist. Young Nexus added, they didn't conquer worlds, Commander, they invited them to dance. Marcus smiled at the poetic description. That's humanity's greatest strength. We never saw the universe as something to control, but as something to experience together with others. Suddenly, alarms began sounding throughout the Shadowclaw. Tactical Officer Kresh looked up from his station with alarm. Commander Krex, fleet vessels approaching fast. Admiral Vorthok's flagship Dominion is leading the formation. Zelthor's heart sank. Admiral Vorthok was known throughout the Empire for his ruthless efficiency and his belief that alien technology should be seized and studied, not negotiated for. If Vorthok arrived and found the human ships, the peaceful contact would end immediately. How long until they arrive? Zelfa asked. 18 minutes at current speed. Marcus's expression grew grave. Commander, you must understand something. The moment your military leaders attempt to board our ships by force or try to scan us with weapons, we will disappear. We've survived 2 centuries by avoiding exactly this scenario. Disappear how? We exist partially outside normal space-time. If threatened, we can phase shift beyond your ability to detect or follow. But if we do that now, this opportunity may never come again. Zelfa began pacing, his forearms gesturing as he thought rapidly. What if I could convince them to negotiate? Admiral Vorthok respects strength and advantage. If I could demonstrate the benefits of partnership. There's something else you should know, Marcus interrupted. The memories your crew experienced, they're permanent. The neural pathways have been altered. Your people now carry part of humanity within them. This cannot be undone. The crew members looked at each other with new understanding. They had been changed on a fundamental level, given access to emotions and perspectives their species had never evolved to possess. Borak ran his instruments over himself and his colleagues. Fascinating. The quantum scan didn't just expose us to human memories. It actually integrated human neural patterns into our brain structures. We're still Krex, but we're also something new. Hybrids, Thresh whispered. We're the first hybrid consciousness in galactic history. Marcus nodded. And you represent the future. Not human, not Krex, but something greater than either species. Alone, the proximity alarms grew louder. Admiral Vorthak's fleet was approaching rapidly, their weapon systems powered and ready for combat. Zelfar knew he had minutes to make a decision that would affect galactic civilization for centuries to come. "Marcus," he said urgently, "can your people communicate with multiple species simultaneously?" "Of course. We've been preparing for this moment for 200 years. Then I have a proposal. Instead of hiding from the Admiral, show him what I've experienced. Show him the memories, the dreams, the possibilities. But do it carefully, gradually. Let him choose to accept rather than forcing the connection." Marcus considered this risky. Military minds often resist change more strongly than explorers. Admiral Vorthok is practical above all else. If he sees the strategic advantages of partnership versus conflict, he'll choose partnership. The first Krex warships appeared on long-range sensors, their hulls bristling with weapons. The flagship Dominion was a massive dreadnought, designed to overwhelm any opposition through pure firepower. "Commander Zelthor," came Admiral Vorthok's voice over the communication system. "Report immediately. We detected massive energy readings from your location." Zelthar looked around his bridge one final time, seeing his transformed crew, feeling the weight of human memories in his own mind, understanding that this moment would define everything that came after. "Admiral, I need to brief you on the most significant discovery in galactic history. But sir, I need you to approach with an open mind. Explain yourself, Commander." "We've found them, Admiral. We've found the humans." Static filled the channel for several seconds. When Vorthok's voice returned, it was tight with controlled excitement. "Impossible. Humans have been extinct for 2 centuries. Not extinct, sir, evolved. And they want to talk." The Dominion and its escort vessels took up positions around the Shadowclaw and the Eternal Dawn. Through the tactical displays, Zelfar could see weapons targeting both ships, ready to fire at the first sign of deception. Admiral Vorthak materialized on the bridge via hologram, his scarred features and mechanical eye enhancements giving him an intimidating appearance. "Commander, explain this situation immediately." Before Zelthor could speak, Marcus Chen's hologram appeared beside the Admiral's projection. "Admiral Vorthok, I am Marcus Chen, speaking for humanity. We've been waiting to meet you." Vorthok's hand instinctively moved toward his sidearm, despite being only a hologram, a human, alive, in a manner of speaking. "We've transcended physical death, but we remain very much alive in the ways that matter. We have much to offer your Empire, Admiral. But first, may I share with you a single memory?" "What kind of memory?" Marcus smiled gently. "The memory of a human child seeing the stars for the first time and dreaming of touching them. It will take only a moment, and you remain in complete control." Vorthok looked at Commander Zelthor suspiciously. "What happened to your crew?" "They experienced human memories, sir. It's profound. They're still themselves. But they've gained new perspectives." The Admiral studied the faces of the Shadowclaw's crew, noting the changes in their expressions, the new depth in their eyes. Finally, he nodded to Marcus. "One memory? But if this is some kind of trick, ... No tricks, Admiral, only truth." Marcus's form shimmered, and suddenly Admiral Vorthok staggered slightly. His mechanical eye flickered as new neural pathways formed in his brain. For a moment, he experienced the wonder of a 7-year-old human girl named Lisa who had looked up at the night sky from her backyard and promised herself she would visit every star she could see. When the memory faded, Admiral Vorthok was silent for a long time. Finally, he spoke, his voice softer than anyone had ever heard it. "She kept that promise, didn't she? Captain Lisa Rodriguez commanded the first human expedition beyond our galaxy, Marcus confirmed. She touched more stars than she ever dreamed. Possible. Vorthok straightened, his military bearing reasserting itself, but something fundamental had changed. What do you want from the Krex Empire? Partnership. Your people have built a magnificent civilization, but it's missing something. The spark of wonder that drives true exploration. We can help you rediscover it, while you help us experience physical existence again, and the other ships, the ones awakening across the galaxy. Each contains different aspects of humanity. Together, they represent the complete human experience. Science, art, philosophy, engineering, medicine, exploration, everything we were offered freely to those willing to dream alongside us. Admiral? Vorthok looked around the bridge, seeing the transformed Krex crew, understanding the magnitude of what was being offered. This changes everything. Yes, Marcus agreed. The question is, are you ready for that change? The Admiral was quiet for several minutes, processing the implications. Finally, he opened a channel to his fleet. All vessels, stand down from combat alert. We're not dealing with a threat. We're witnessing the birth of a new age. Commander, Zelthor felt a wave of relief wash over him. The moment of greatest danger had passed. Admiral Marcus continued, there's something else you should know. The human ships don't just contain our consciousness. They contain our greatest creation. A technology that allows consciousness to exist independently of biological form, while still maintaining the capacity for growth, creativity, and joy. Digital. Immortality, Vorthok breathed. Digital transcendence. The ability to explore the universe not just with ships and bodies, but with the full power of conscious thought unbound by physical limitations. We offer this not as conquerors, but as partners in the greatest adventure any species has ever undertaken. Across the galaxy, human ships were awakening, their guardians reaching out to other species with the same offer. The universe was about to become a much more interesting place. Admiral Vorthok made his decision. Commander Zelthor, prepare for the largest diplomatic mission in Krex history. We're not just meeting with humanity, we're joining them. As the human ship Eternal Dawn pulsed with renewed life and hope, its guardian Marcus, Chen smiled. After 2 centuries of waiting, humanity was ready to dance among the stars once again. But this time, they wouldn't dance alone. The age of isolation was ending. The age of partnership was about to begin.